Hi guys, good evening. We'll start in 3 minutes at exactly 8 o'clock. Hi everyone, good evening. How's everybody, guys? Thank you for taking time to attend this webinar session regarding our healthcare assistant program to Canada. Okay, once again, I want to welcome everybody to our live webinar on healthcare assistant program to Canada. Of course, this is brought to you by Roman and Associates Immigration Services in partnership with Stenberg College. Just a friendly reminder to everybody. So I'll be putting everyone in mute. So after this discussion or Miss Jenica's discussion, we will have the opportunity for a Q&A session. So if you have questions in mind, you may post them first in our chat box. Then we'll address those questions one by one as we finish our presentation. Should you have something to say, you may just raise your hand, then we'll be calling you right after our presentation. Again, welcome, and I do hope that this webinar session will help you decide to cross the border in joining with us, Roman and Associates, of course, and taking the course of Stenberg College, which is the Healthcare Assistant Program to Canada. Okay. The main goal of this webinar session is for us to help all of you in migrating to Canada by means of working as healthcare assistant there. With everything that we do, it is very important to know the institution or the company or possibly the people to whom we are dealing with. Am I right? So allow me to present to you our company. Our company is Roman and Associates Immigration Services Limited. We are registered Canadian immigration firm in BC, Canada. You may countercheck that one through Canada Business Registry page. We do have our two offices. We have one in Canada that is in 6057 Dumont Road, Nanaimo, British Columbia, and the other one in President J.P. Laurel, Highway Lipa City, Batangas. Who is the man behind Roman and Associates Immigration Services? None other than our immigration consultant, Mr. Israel Roman, with license number R524540. Sir Israel Roman, he is a licensed Canadian immigration consultant and he is registered with the Immigration Consultant of Canada Regulatory Council. Of course, way back in the Philippines, he is also a registered nurse and practicing his profession for so long until year 2008 when he decided to finally migrate to Canada. And at present, Mr. Israel Roman is currently working as nurse manager with one of the biggest hospital in British Columbia. For someone whom you are to seek an advice from, it is very important to prove his legitimacy. Am I right, guys? So for that one, I'll be teaching you on how to validate if Sir Israel Roman is indeed an active licensed Canadian immigration consultant. How to do that? You just simply need to go to the CCIC website, and flashed on your screen is the login page of that specific website. Below that one, which is the Find an Immigration Consultant, is the public register portion. So below that one again, you'll see multiple tabs or multiple tabs wherein you need to fill in the details. But for this one, you don't need to fill this up, or you don't need to provide all necessary details. You may just simply go to the RCIC number, then you just have to indicate the license number of Sir Israel Roman, then you go to the status, then you just choose all. After you indicate or you type, you input the license number, you just click the search bar. After that one, it will give you this portion wherein it is indicated on the slide, flashed on your screen, the name, status, and the identification number of Mr. Israel Roman. So as you can see, the one in circular black circle, the name of Sir Israel Roman is Roman Israel. The status is active. You may also click the contact should you want to reach him. And displayed also on this slide is the active license number of our immigration consultant, who is Mr. Israel Roman. Okay, so that's how are you going to double check the legitimacy of the person to whom you are dealing with. Okay, since this webinar discussed primarily about the healthcare assistant program in partnership, of course, with Stenberg, the question now is how to work as a healthcare assistant in Canada. Okay, simply you need to apply on a regular scheme. You need to apply for registration with Health Worker Registry or the BC Care Aide and Community Health Worker Registry. But it is a must for you that you should be residing in BC. The question now is, what if you're not residing in BC and yet you want to work as a healthcare assistant program in you want to work as a healthcare assistant in Canada rather. So what now? What will happen now? What is the answer to this question? It is simply with the use of this magic formula. Stenberg College plus Ruman and Associates Immigration Services. This will be the answer to your question. First, you need to simply apply for study permit. Of course, this is by means of enrolling to Stenberg College under the course of Healthcare Assistant Program. Then after you finish that course, what will happen next? You can apply for your work permit. Second, after working, you can apply for permanent residency under Caregiver Pathway Program, or you may continue on the study program by taking additional course or other courses like postgraduate diploma in Canadian nursing and early childhood education. Okay, so how are we going to verify if there are available jobs for that specific position? We're speaking about healthcare assistant positions. Flash on your screen is a mere sample of the online site wherein we can check the available jobs in different cities in Canada. So this is the healthcare aid in British Columbia. So you just need to go to the jobs tab, then you just choose the location. Like for example, this one, it is shown in here, British Columbia. How many available jobs for that one? There is 117 available jobs. Should you want to check some details about this job vacancies, you just click view job posting, then it will redirect you to the page giving you the details about the job vacancies. Okay, since we're speaking about the job vacancy, how much is the prevailing wages for the specific position, given that we consider the location or the community area for that one? Flashed on your screen is a mere example of that one. Let's say, for example, the British Columbia. Should you choose the British Columbia, as you can see, there are three schemes or three brackets for the wages. We have the low, the median, and the high. If you are to ask, what are those low, median, and high? These are the average wage that an employer is capable of giving to their workers. So this primarily concerns with the firm size, the industry type, the financial stability of the company, and anything about their status or their performance in terms of their operations. So they can give you as low as 18 Canadian dollar per hour to 22 Canadian dollar per hour, as high as 25 Canadian dollar per hour. Okay, so as you can see, this is a prospect job opportunities over the next 3 years. So as you can see, Alberta is categorized as good, British Columbia is categorized as good, and Manitoba, and a lot more. So if you are thinking of taking the course, you don't have to worry if you will be able to land in a position related to your course, because there are lots of opportunities waiting for you after you graduate and successfully finish the course, especially with Stenberg College. Okay, let us now consider or check first our hourly rate for healthcare assistant workers. So as you can see flashed on the screen, this is just an example of a job vacancy posting extracted from one of our social media platform in Canada. So patient services aid. So as you can see, the salary range per hour is already 25.83 Canadian dollar. How are we going to compute that one? Let's say, for example, given that you are earning 25.83 Canadian dollar per hour and you are to work 40 hours per week, how much are you going to earn? That will give you 1,033,000.20 per week. How about if you are to work in a month? How much are you going to earn? So given that on a weekly basis, you are earning 1,033,000.20 Canadian dollars, and we have 4 weeks in a month, that will give you 4,132.80 Canadian dollar. How about if we are to compute your earnings within the span of 1 whole year? Taking into consideration that you are earning 1,033.20 per week, then we have 52 weeks in a year. That will only give you like 53,726.40 Canadian dollar. Imagine if we are to convert that one to Philippine peso. Okay, taking into consideration the conversion rate is 40. This is as of January 26th of the current year. 53,726.40 is equivalent to 2,149,056 pesos. Imagine, by just barely working 1 whole year, you'll have this opportunity to earn that big. Okay, let us now take into consideration and consider also the hourly rate for in-home caregiver. Okay, so flash on your screen, this is an example also on how you will check the existing or the prevailing wages in Canada in terms of in-home caregiver position. Okay, let's take a look the community area, which is Canada. So you can earn as low as 12.91, 16.85, and as high as 24 Canadian dollar per hour. How are we going to compute that one? Let's take into consideration the 16.85 Canadian dollar per hour as your hourly rate. You are asked to work 40 hours in a week. That will give you 674 Canadian dollar. In a month, you can earn 2,696 Canadian dollar. And in 1 year, you can earn 35,048 Canadian dollar. How much is the equivalent of 35,048 Canadian dollar, given that we are to consider 40 as the conversion rate for every 1 Canadian dollar? Again, the value presented, which is the 40, is based on the exchange rate last January 26, 2022. Okay, that will give you a total amount of 1,401,920. 1.4 million in just working by 1 whole year. That can already considered a big amount versus with that of our Philippine or the value of money we have in the Philippines. Okay, so as you see those figures, interesting figures flashed on your screen, what are now the advantages in joining with us? First, of course, we are partnered with Stenberg College that delivers exceptional education. Second is that you will be granted a reasonable administration fee. You'll also have the opportunity to have your IELTS waived, but this will be further discussed by Ms. Jenica later. And you'll have your job security, of course. After that, after finishing the course, you will have the multiple options to stay in Canada by means of your post-study. Again, don't forget the very important formula for your future in Canada. This is by means of Stenberg College plus Roman and Associates Immigration Services. That will give you a sure pathway, sure passport or pathway to Canada. Okay, my dear viewers, as early as now, since you already take time listening to us by presenting our services with Roman and Associates Immigration Services, as early as now, I want to welcome everybody, and this will be a big step in your career. What's the next step then? You just need to send your detailed resume to for eligibility checking to our assessment at romancis.ca. You may just use the subject line assessment for HCA at Stenberg College for easy identification of your resume. Okay, so that will be all on my part. I will be I will be transferring the floor to Miss Jenica. Miss Jenica is our speaker from Stenberg College, and she will be presenting to us all the program details and their methods as to their applications and how they handle applications down to onboarding process. I mean, I'll hand you over to Miss Jenica as she present her presentation for tonight. Hello, Miss Jenica.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you so much. So, hello, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar. I apologize, I cannot turn my video on. I have been unwell for the past weeks, so I'm still not that well, but we're gonna get there, okay? So I just I can continue on with the presentation with my video off. So anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my screen with you. If I can just have the host to allow me to do screen sharing, please.
Oh, sorry, ma'am. Okay.
All right. So there you go. Let me just start from the beginning here. So I'll probably be skipping some of the pages here that we don't really need. But what I would like to start with is the introductory video of Stenberg. I can see. Let me just play this one for you. So there you go. And just to formally introduce myself, so this is me. My name is Jenica Licerio. I am the Director of International Admissions and Recruitment for Southeast Asia and the Middle East. And I am based here in the Philippines. So I'm a Filipina. I started my international education journey as a certified trainer and assessor for Australian qualifications. So I was actually teaching business and management diploma programs, and then eventually move forward to representing different institutions, and now it's Stenberg College. So a lot of I guess some of the Filipino students, they would ask, they would always legit check. So that is where I actually came from. Now, the international team of Stenberg College is, we're actually located in different areas. So I'm here in the Philippines. There's a director for India, for Latin America. So please do not be surprised if not all of us are in British Columbia. Now, we also have an international education advisor here in the Philippines as well, together with me, Alexa Laksa. So do not be surprised if you receive any information coming from Alexa, and also from Janice Shi, who's our international registrar based in British Columbia. All right, so just to give you information about our institution, just a bit of an overview of who we are. So Stenberg College is a private post-secondary college, and we were founded back in 1990 by Mary Jane Stenberg. And we started off with delivering nursing programs. We're really highly focused on medical programs. That is our specialty. We've been really successful with the outcome of our graduates. And so after 10 years of delivering excellent education, we were acquired by an education company called Tech Global. And we have a sister school, which is Center for Arts and Technology, also based in British Columbia. Now, the programs that we offer, again, specialization in healthcare, but we also have other programs in education, business, and in human services. So if you want to know more about those, you can submit your resume to Roman and Associates, and we will be discussing the other programs with you. For today, we are going to focus on healthcare assistant program. Now, as mentioned, our campus location is in Surrey. So for those of you who are not aware yet, Surrey is a suburb of Vancouver. It's just about 40-minute train ride away from Vancouver downtown. But the good thing about living in Surrey is that you will have a lower cost of living if you compare it to Vancouver. Now, our campus location is just right in front of the Central SkyTrain station, so it's a very accessible location. One of the things that we're also very proud of and that we've established over the years is our very strong employer and industry relationship. So I'll speak about that later, about our employer partners. Now, once you become part of Stenberg College, we make sure you're successful. Okay, this is for international students. So we understand you need a lot of support. We understand that, you know, your intentions may be dual. You want to study, gain further education, and probably in the future, you're planning to also, you know, apply for a permanent residency if that is something that you want to do. So we provide support to our students to ensure they reach those goals. So we have student services. They're the first group of people that you will probably be speaking with. So they will assist you for any questions that you may have. You just need to talk to student services. They will redirect you to the proper department. We also have academic support. So for those of you who have dual intent and going to Canada, do not forget you will be under a student visa, so you will be studying, okay? And of course, when you study, you need to pass your assessments, you need to pass your courses, and we make sure that you do that by providing you with additional time, like the instructor can schedule a one-on-one appointment with you, or if you want to talk to the instructor after classes, you can set up that appointment to discuss topics. We also provide free English classes. Normally, English classes are, paid, but we conduct free classes every week, which you can attend. You can sign up for it if you want to do, further studies in English, improve your communication skills. We also find that providing a life coach to some of the students who are struggling with time, with adapting to the new environment, it has been really helpful for them. So we also have free life coaches that we appoint our students. So anything that you need in order for you to, balance your time and to pass your assessments, we provide that support. Also, if you don't have any relatives, okay, in Canada and you need accommodation assistance, you just need to approach us after your visa has been approved. We can provide you accommodation assistance. So we do have partner homestays and of course our network who have available accommodation, so we connect you to them. Now, one of the most important services that we have is the career services. So definitely when you study, you want to put that into practice, or of course with the intention of getting employed in the future. So we provide you with workshops and how to, have a better resume, better cover letters, how to do interviews. We connect you to partner employers as well. So anything employment, if you need assistance in getting employed while you're studying, you just need to approach career services for that. In line with employment, our programs have co-op. So co-op, it means cooperative work experience. So here in the Philippines, it's like internship, right? Or on-the-job training. So basically, you're practicing what you've learned, okay? And you're in a work environment. So you don't need to look for your own employer for this, because we have partner employers who are ready to take you in. And the good thing about that also is that you will be getting paid in our co-op. And it's not just an allowance, it's actually whatever is the rate, the going rate for the position that you are in. Also, last but not the least, we have the immigration consultation support. So of course, we've partnered with Roman and Associates. We only partner with legit agencies. So if you want to speak to them about, your future permanent residency, you just need to approach us so that we can schedule that appointment with you. So now that you know who we are and some of the services that you'll enjoy, we've prepared a video here to show you what a healthcare assistant would normally do, or just for you to have a bit of an insight of what a healthcare assistant would be. So we will be discussing the Healthcare Assistant Diploma International with Co-op program after the video. Please enjoy.
I have nothing but respect for the healthcare assistants, because if it weren't for the healthcare assistants, the nurses don't know the patients or the residents the way that the healthcare assistants do. They are the first line of defense, if you will. They come to you and they know when your patient is having any kind of a bad day or a good day. They know them way better than I do as a nurse. And so I 100% depend on the healthcare assistants to come to me with whatever needs to be done for that patient. What I first noted about Stenberg College right away when I started here was that there are so many resources available to the students, and the faculty and the school itself really cares about the success of Stenberg College students. What particularly impresses me about the HCA program here is the in-depth and breadth of knowledge and curriculum that is taught. It's not only just the provincial curriculum that's being taught, but it goes further so that the healthcare assistants can understand the diagnosis, not just what to do when this person has this. If they fully understand it, then they're going to do better in their career.
Our HCA program, I feel, is one of the best because of the simulations lab, the nursing lab, the way that they have integrated the nursing instructors to be able to have them in the same classroom, sometimes in the same lab as nursing students. So they have that cross-pollination of information with each other.
I get really excited when I teach, and I'm sure some of my students, if asked, would say this about me. I'm not just talking about diabetes, for example. I get involved in the background of it and then how to care for said person with diabetes. And so what I hope to pass on to my students is to get excited about it and not just treat it as just a job. It's not just a job that pays the bills. You're helping people, you understand, you do this and this is the rationale for it. And to be able to help people, and not only the patients, but their family and their extended family and the colleagues that you work with, I think it's really exciting for me, both on the floor, nursing, and to instill that into my students. What I like my students to take away from the classroom, not only into their clinical, but into their careers, is the ability to believe in themselves and that they really are making a difference.
Growing old is inevitable, I suppose, and from my point of view, I just do the best I can for myself and for other people. I really think that here the staff are wonderful, and I'm just thankful that I'm in a place like this.
Before the HCA program, I was a housewife and I have regular jobs, but not a career.
Coming to Canada, I have like big dreams. For starting point, it is very hard. I got like little bit confident. Okay, I can work in a gas station, and I started working there. But going and coming back, it's the same routine, and then it's just stuck. The life is stuck.
My life before this, I was a digital designer. It was just hard to deal with contract jobs and not knowing whether if I'm able to support my son next week.
When I first started, all over it was a good experience, but I did have some obstacles. With the extra help from Stenberg staff, I pulled through with success.
We work together. If there is any kind of problem, personal problem, or about the education, so we work together, and so that everybody is fine.
We were given all the tools and all the skills that we needed to have in the real world.
Now, I got more confidence that I can do better.
All the comments I got from my preceptor, they said it did not feel like they're working with a student. It felt like they're working with another HCA.
Aide called me one day to come for an interview. And then I got the job.
I have a stable job where I have income coming in, which I love doing. And then with that, I can also invest into my hobbies, which is design now.
I love working with elderly people. I love making a change, giving my minute or two and talk to them, make a difference in their life.
Having this job is perfect for me.
I remember one time I did go back, even though I was already off clock, I went back and went to see one of the residents. And just seeing their faces react to you, even coming back to them to talk to them, it's just rewarding. Not only it feels right, but it just, you're happy, knowing that you're making other people happy. I have a feeling that eventually people are going to realize this is a good, perfect career choice.
I have nothing but respect for the healthcare.
Okay, there you go. So those are our graduates who are already registered healthcare assistants. So just going back to what was discussed earlier, in British Columbia, there is BC Care Aide Registry, wherein all care aides and community healthcare workers are registered. And it was established by the Ministry of Health to ensure that there is a standard of care that is given to patients and to the clients. And as per the research that was done actually a few years ago, the healthcare assistant occupation is a high demand profession, not just in British Columbia, but all over in Canada. So there are a lot of different terminologies that you may encounter. So they are called care aides, they're called HCAs, they're also called personal support worker. Here in the Philippines, they're more commonly known as caregivers, okay? But the difference is that they're not actually limited to just taking care of the elders. If they pursue an employment in a hospital setting where they assist nurses, they can do that. Or if they want to take care of children, you can also do that as a registered HCA. Now, here are just some of our partner employers, okay? I actually forgot to include another one here. But anyway, there are a lot of partner employers that we have at Stenberg College. Now, when you study this program, okay, you will have to complete it in 1 year and 2.5 months. So it's just fairly short. It's a reasonable amount of time to complete the program. So you'll develop those skills that you need in order for you to function as an HCA. And our program is fully accredited and recognized by the BC Care Aid Registry. So when you complete the program, we assist you in getting your registration. Within that 1 year, 2.5 months, you will have about 6 months of paid co-op. For those of you who are interested for this year, there's still July and September intake available for you to enroll to. Now, when you study the program, you will be studying for about 20 to 25 hours per week. Okay, and when you do the co-op for the final 6 months, you'll be doing 20 hours per week. There are additional certificates that you'll be receiving when you study this program, and these certificates complement your profession. So how do you enter this program? It's actually a very accessible program. We're only looking for year 12 equivalency when it comes to academic background. So what does that mean? If you are a high school graduate of a K-12, okay, K-12 graduates are welcome to enroll into this program. If you already have a bachelor degree, you are allowed to enter this program. And we don't really look into what type of course you've completed in your home country. So as long as you've completed a bachelor degree, you meet the minimum requirement of year 12 equivalency. So medical or non-medical background, you're all welcome. Last but not the least, if you are coming from the old Philippine curriculum, okay, you're from, like me, you completed grade 10, basically 4th year high school, and then you went to college. If you are an undergraduate, okay, as long as you have completed your 2nd year of college, you will be allowed to enter this program. Okay. Now, there is an update when it comes to IELTS. We used to waive the IELTS actually, and then we have our students take it in Canada. However, we are being very strict this year about English requirements. The BC Care Aid Registry actually requires it. Okay, they will not provide you a registration unless you have an English proficiency test done. So they normally require 6.0 overall score. But just to enter this program, we will accept general or academic at 5.5 overall score with no band lower than 5.0. Now, the good thing about the IELTS that we are now requiring the students is that it is reimbursable. Okay, so you can reimburse this through a credit in your tuition fee of up to 350 Canadian dollars. So roughly around 12,000 pesos, which normally is the amount for, you know, your IELTS exam. So how much is this program? The total tuition fee for the full duration of the program, this already includes, you know, your assessment fees, your books, materials are included, co-op fees, our assistance to register you, your medical coverage for the first 3 months are already included. Total of 17,032. You don't need to pay all of that. You just need to pay the initial deposit fee in order for you to receive a letter of offer. Now, for our IELTS cost, it will be shouldered again by Stenberg College of up to 350 Canadian dollars just for your first test. Now, if you need to do a retest, then you have to shoulder that cost. Now, for this year only, 2022 intake only, we are waiving your application and registration fee worth $400. So the total tuition fee now is $16,600. So that is actually a fairly reasonable tuition fee amount, especially because with this program, you have an immigration pathway and you can be secured of an employment. How? So with this program, because we're a private institution, I want to put it out there. You're not going to be eligible for PGWP. Okay. I repeat, there is no PGWP. And we're not afraid to say that because we don't need it. So let me just clarify. Those of you who have been, attending webinars, you keep hearing about postgraduate work permit. The sole purpose of the purpose, not sole, but the purpose of postgraduate work permit is for you to have a valid visa to stay on in Canada after you complete your program, so that you can look for your work sponsor, right? Students use that to look for their work sponsors. You don't need to look for your work sponsors because we already have our partner employers waiting for you. So you basically do not need a PGWP. So our employment outcomes for HCA is at 100% employment rate. Overall, we have a 98% employment rate at Stenberg College, which is really, really high. So that 2%, those are graduates that do further studies, okay? So if you are looking to do an immigration, pathway after, once you accept the employer's LMIA or maybe long-term work sponsorship, you will be eligible in immigration pathways. It really depends of what immigration pathway you take. Now, I have prepared a short video here with one of our employer partners. And this is a very exciting news because our employer partner, Retirement Concepts, they're going to give our students for 2022 intake, those who will be enrolling for HCA and the nursing programs, they are willing to provide you with a conditional job offer. They will also be providing you with a part-time work while you're studying with us, right? And you're allowed to work part-time. So they are offering you jobs. And after you complete the program, there are job opportunities waiting for you. They actually have a lot of different locations. So I'm not gonna let you wait any longer. This is a short interview that I did with the HR manager, recruitment manager for Retirement Concepts. So here's our video.
Hello, everyone. Hello, partner agents. I am here today with Sabrina Price, one of our partner employers, and we're very excited to introduce you to Retirement Concepts. So I'm here to just ask Sabrina and introduce herself to you guys so that next year in 2022, these are one of the things that you'll be looking forward to. So hi, Sabrina, and thank you for meeting me today.
Hi, no problem at all. Hello, everyone.
So, Sabrina, let's get started. So I'd like you to introduce Retirement Concepts to our partner agents here.
Yeah, no problem. So Retirement Concepts, we have 22 senior homes across BC, one in Alberta and one in Quebec. We're able to offer different levels of care to our residents. So that could be either assisted living, long-term care, or independent living. So basically what we offer is allowing people to start off in an independent situation, and as their needs become greater and greater, they can continue on down that path in their senior years. We have many different opportunities available in each of those homes. They all function independently of each other. So we are all Retirement Concepts. However, our homes are all independent, meaning there's a different leadership team at each one of our communities.
One of our partner employers, and we are collaborating in getting our students conditional job offers. So can you tell them about that?
Yeah, so right now I'm working with my legal team directly, and we're working on getting a conditional job offer. So what that looks like is, obviously in British Columbia, to be a nurse of any level, a carried, an LPN or an RN, you have to be registered and licensed as per British Columbia standards. Obviously, these students will be coming in and they won't have those qualifications yet. That's where Stenberg comes in. They're going to school, they can work hopefully 20 hours a week with their visas, permits, and being able to still have some spending money as well while going to school.
These are all pretty exciting news for our students, our incoming students for 2022. We highly encourage them because, you will be one of the options for our students to go into for employment. So what can our students expect from Retirement Concepts as their new employer?
Absolutely. So for Retirement Concepts, we are known in British Columbia as a private employer versus they're public employers. When you go public, it's a lot larger of an organization. We're actually a very large private organization at 5,000 people across our 22 sites. However, when you're at a private employer, you have that more homey feeling of family, and it's a lot more inclusive. At Retirement Concepts, we're very big on diversity and inclusion, so we have many different facets of people that work for Retirement Concepts. We try to celebrate all of the different diversity, everything. We try to celebrate it. Retirement Concepts is also just very big on team engagement, so making sure that team members feel welcomed. So when the students do start with us, obviously it's going to be quite overwhelming because you've just moved from another country, you're coming to Canada. That's a lot of changes at one time for someone. A lot of our staff, we have staff members who we designate as trainers at the site. So they're there to support these new students or employees to get their bearings, I guess is the best way to say, and make sure that they feel welcomed.
Thank you. We are so excited. We're actually very excited about this new partnership, and you know that we're trying to get Sabrina also to join all of our webinar sessions for January. So everyone should look out for that. Invite your students over, and they will be meeting their new and future employer. So again, thank you, Sabrina, so much for your time. I really appreciate you talking to us today.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay, there you go. So if you notice, that video was actually filmed back in December and it was intended for our agent partners. So there you go. That is Sabrina Price coming from Retirement Concepts. So we want to make sure that our students feel secured as well, although there is really a security of, getting our partner employers to employ our graduates. We would like to further, provide further assurance to them while they're studying. So last but not the least, I would just want to cover the COVID-19 readiness plan. We are an approved DLI, so you definitely can travel to Canada. And I just want to let you know as well, because you will be in a medical industry, it is a requirement for you to have the COVID-19 vaccine. Okay, so it is a must. And also, last but not the least, if you have any conditions that will prevent you from getting a doctor's clearance to be working in a healthcare facility, then that is something that we need to know prior your enrollment. All right, so there you go. I would like to thank you for listening to me. If you want to visit our website, you can do that. But your next step should be to contact Roman and Associates and their team and to submit your resume so that you can get a free assessment. So there you have it. That is my time. Thank you very much for listening. Back to you,
Ms. Janica. Thank you for that very informative presentation. And I do hope that our attendees were able to catch up all those details and be very much excited to inquire on how to get that specific course. And to our viewers and attendees, the floor is now open for our Q&A session. Should you have any questions in mind, you may now raise those questions and we will be addressing those individually. Any questions, guys?
Parang nahiya ata sila. I think they're um shy. So maybe while
Yeah.
we're waiting for those questions, I would just like to share to everyone some of the FAQs that I received regarding our programs. Okay, so if you don't mind, I'm gonna share that with you. So first, I always get asked if there is an age limit to this program, and the answer there is no. Okay, so as long as you are 18 years old and above, you are fit to work, fit to study, then you are going to be allowed into the program. Okay.
Okay.
Another question that I normally get as well has to do with employment. So if they are allowed to work. So as an international student, yes, you are allowed to work 20 hours per week while you are studying, and it starts when your program starts. During school breaks and school holidays, you are allowed to work full time. And during your co-op, okay, because we have a 20-hour per week co-op, you can still use your student permit allowance of 20 hours per week. So basically, for the past, not past, but your last 6 months, wherein you're doing your co op, you can actually be working up to 40 hours per week. So those are the normal FAQs that I receive. I hope that helped you, jug your brain into finding or looking for other questions so that you can clarify before you enroll to us. So there you go. Thank
Okay.
you.
We have one question posted in our chat box. So how from Miss Irene Juanites. So how much is the overall expenses for this specific course? So for this one, we have our immigration fees, which are to pay to Remand and Associates Immigration separate services that separated with the tuition fee, of course, with Stenberg. So what's good about immigration services like Roman Associates Immigration Services is that you are not mandated to pay as one time. Rather, we will be billing you on a per stage basis. So there are table of fees which will be provided to you as to we assess your CV. So together with our eligibility check email, we'll be providing you our table of fees. So from there, you'll see the actual fees which you are to pay to us as we process your application. So that would normally, in terms of peso, para at least ma-manage ho natin expectation nyo. In terms of Philippine peso, you are asked to prepare for the fees itself, which will be needed in terms of documentation. You're asked to prepare 200 to 250,000 in Philippine peso. Of course, that's separate from the proof of fund na hihingin po namin sa inyo plus the payment for the tuition fee which you are to pay to Stenberg College. Another question in our chat box, do you have scholarship? I think
Okay,
Miss Jenica is the best person
yeah.
to answer that one.
For the scholarship, our tuition fee is actually really competitive already. So for the HCA, the what they can get as a discount this year would be the waiver of the assessment and registration fee worth $400. And also, we will be reimbursing or crediting your tuition fee 350 Canadian dollars once you provide us the receipt for your IELTS test. So those are the current discount or bursaries that we have for this particular program. So in total, you'll be saving up to 750 Canadian dollars. So there you go.
Okay, any more question, guys? So let's take this opportunity to ask all the questions you have in mind. So as we still have Miss Jenica to address all questions regarding the course, the admission process, and you can have me answer all the questions related to your immigration application processing. So you can, if you are hesitant to unmute yourself, you can just post your question to our chat box, then we will be addressing them one by one.
I believe there is a question in the Q&A box.
Yes, so as it goes, as you said, there is no PGWA. You mean to say that we have to apply for another pathway possible outside BC and we have to apply for our extension visa? Can you please explain it further?
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
let me just explain this. When you study in Canada, you will be under a student visa, right? Now, most students, after student visa, you're supposed to go home. And another way for you to stay in Canada is to apply for a postgraduate work permit so that you can look for an employer to sponsor you. Okay. But instead of doing that, okay, we don't need the PGWP. Instead of applying for a PGWP and looking for employer, we don't necessarily need to do that because we have employer partners. So while you're under your co-op, okay, it's already possible that you're already working on getting your working visa. So it's a transition from student visa to work visa under an LMIA or under a long-term work sponsorship coming from our partner employers. You shouldn't be going out of BC because the HCA that you completed is for registration in British Columbia, right? So that is the quote unquote the extension visa. I don't know if it's really called extension visa, but that is the visa that you should be going after, right? The work visa after the student visa, if your intention is to stay and to work and to eventually be eligible for an immigration pathway. Okay, because it's the same when you enroll in a school, you're under student visa, and then you go for a PGWP. It's the same. You need to look for your employer, and then the employer transitions you to work visa, and then you go for the immigration pathway. All right, so I hope that that is sort of clear. Okay, let us know if I was able to answer that question, Rosemary, and thank you for the question.
Thank you for that answer and clarification, Ms. Jenica. And should we have any other question, guys, you can just post them through our chat box. And okay, one more question here. Will you help us in student visa to working visa to PR if ever? Yes, definitely. We will be helping you from securing your student visa to working visa, lastly to your permanent residency visa. That's where Roman and Associates Immigration will come in, and we will surely help you on processing those visas that you'll be needing to secure your stay in Canada. Definitely, it's a yes from Roman and Associates Immigration Services. Okay, so don't forget to send your resume, guys, for our eligibility check to our email, which is assessment@romancis.ca. You may just use the subject line assessment for HCA at Stenberg College for easy identification of your resume. We will be glad to assist you in processing your documents and securing your necessary visa as you decided to cross and the border going to Canada. So don't forget to send us your CV. Make sure that it is updated. That includes your educational background so that we can proceed with the assessment. I think there is, okay. So can you give us a breakdown of your cost in assisting us in student to working visa to PR2? Okay, so initially I can just answer first the one that is being asked, which is for the student visa. For the student visa, there is a necessary fees that you will be asked to pay us in lieu of our services, of course. And there are documents necessary for us to pay as we lodge your application to immigration. So primarily, you will be asked to pay our admin fee should you want to avail our services. That's 1,400 Canadian dollar. There are additional fees for biometrics for the application, and some documents aligned with your immigration processing. But as we receive your visa, together with our eligibility check email, we will be providing you the table of fees wherein you can see the breakdown of fees that you need to settle with us together with a specific document and how much does it cost for you to process your application. Right after we secure your student visa, we can now work on in processing your working visa. Of course, we will be providing you also table of fees for that one, down to the table of fees necessary to process your permanent residency visa. So along with our eligibility email, as we receive your resume, we will be sending you all necessary details for that specific fees that you are inquiring. Any more question, guys? Okay, I hope I answered your question, ma'am, but I'm very much willing to discuss the program details and the process possible for us in securing your necessary visa to Canada. And we will be dealing with you as soon as I receive your resume, and we'll be sending you, of course, our eligibility check email and for discussion of our program details. Any more question, guys? Okay, I think there are no other questions from our viewers. Again, I just want to thank everybody for taking time in attending this live webinar in for healthcare assistant program in partnership with Stenberg, of course. Just want to say thank you, Miss Jenica, for your usual assistance and your time for joining us tonight and presenting your product with us. And
You're welcome. Thank you very much for everyone who attended tonight.
thank you, and I hope we can hear from you soon. And as early as tomorrow, I can see, I may probably receive your CV, and we're very much open for assessing your eligibility to apply. Okay, I think, okay, that's another thank you. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day and God bless. Thank you.